Sports presents, for the 19th consecutive year, the Pro Bowlers Tour, live from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. It's the $131,000 BPAA United States Open. Competing for the $21,000 first prize will be Steve Martin from Kingsport, Tennessee, Steve Brichta from Allentown, Pennsylvania, Guppy Troup of Jacksonville, Florida, Mike Aulby from Indianapolis, Indiana, and the tournament leader from Dublin, California, Earl Anthony. Today we come to Windsor Locks, Connecticut. These are the Bradley Bowl Lanes, site of a premier tournament in all of bowling. It's the United States Open, sponsored by the Bowling Proprietors Association of America. $131,000 total prize money, $21,000 to the winner this afternoon in our live coverage. Good afternoon, I'm Chris Schenkel. Delighted to be back on the Professional Bowlers Tour and happy to reintroduce former United States Open champion, my colleague, Nelson Burton Jr. Bo?
Thank you. Chris, this is the really critical time of the year for professional bowlers because this is the first leg of bowling's Triple Crown, the U.S. Open. Next week's the second leg, the PBA National in Detroit, and 4 weeks from now we have the Firestone Tournament of Champions. And only one player in the history of PBA bowling has ever won the Triple Crown in a lifetime, and that was Billy Hardwick. But today, the great Earl Anthony, with a win here in the U.S. Open, can make the Triple Crown, be the second player to ever do it in a lifetime. But there's four other players that have a lot to say about that. In the first match, we have powerful Steve Martin going against rookie Steve Brichta, an exciting match. The winner of that goes against Guppy Troup. He's made the telecast before, but he's never won on ABC. In the semifinal match, we have the rookie sensation last year, Mike Aulby, 19 years old. He's already leading the tour in money winnings. In order to get a national title for him, the U.S. Open, he has to get by bowling's greatest player, Earl Anthony, the man who has won more money and more titles than anyone else.
In other words, it's going to be an exciting hour and a half live.
Well, we might have our second two-time winner. Alby's won once before, and Earl has, so the winner of the U.S. Open has one leg up on the Triple Crown.
Thank you, Bo. See you later. So, top prize money here in the BPAA United States Open is $21,000. The runner-up will receive $11,000. Third is worth $7,500. Fourth, $6,000. And our fifth place finisher gets a check for $5,000. Martin and Brichta next. Of the United States Open. Number 5 position, Steve Martin of Kingsport, Tennessee, goes against Steve Brichta of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Martin with one title, Brichta looking for his very first. 5 and 4 in match number 1. The winner, as you know our format, winners keep advancing, losers drop out. Hour and a half live coverage from the Bradley Bowl in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, in the Hartford, Connecticut area. Shooting first from the left side, Steve Brichta. Stayed down, Bo, on that shot and opens with a strike.
Sure did, Chris, and he's a bright young player. A lot of talent. He's young, ambitious, and he's got a tough match, though, against Steve Martin. At only age 21, has been very close to winning a lot of titles. One-time champion.
170-pounder, powerful. And Steve Martin answers with a strike of his own. A young man who last year won $32,000. This year, he'd like to do a little better than he's been doing. Not bad, though.
Steve Martin, one of the young power players on the tour. At the top of the swings, notice how he cocks his wrist to get that ball in that tremendous, strong position. Then low at the foul line, and watch how close he slides to that foul line. That's a precision approach.
It really is by an inch, Bo.
Many hours of practice.
$10,450 thus far this year. So now, Steve Martin of Kingsport, Tennessee, has opened with a double, and back up is Steve Brichta of Allentown, a 20-year-older.
Chris, from the same area as Eddie Wrestler Jr., who has been an excellent star on the tour for the last 5 years.
Sort of a comeback for Brichta. Leaving the 7-pin, a young man who hadn't bowled in a PBA tournament since last August. Why did he leave the 7, Bo?
Chris, he made a good shot, as you can see by his profile here. He has a good push away. He gets down low. He's strong in the upper body, and he controls his body very well. Now he comes through at the bottom of the swing, right next to his leg, and makes an excellent shot. Unfortunately, leaves the solid 7. Look at that good finish.
Ooh, came back. So it's a strike and a spare for Brichta. This is the Bowling Proprietors Association of America's United States Open. Second year that it's been held here at the Bradley Bowl. The BPAA having a membership of 4,100 bowling establishments, or a total of approximately 87,000 lanes. And Bo, you used to be a member when you and your father had an establishment in St. Louis?
Sure enough, Chris, and it's a strong association and a great tournament.
Brichta of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Third frame, a strike. And Martin is up, leading by 10 pins. It has a double working, shooting in the third frame. If you just joined us, this is our first game live from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Three in a row.
And you just couldn't go down there and place the ball in your pocket by hand any better than Steve Martin has in the first 3 frames, Chris. To set the stage for this championship pair of lanes, it's 29 and 30 here at Bradley Bowl. The left-hand lane for both right-handers and left-handers hooks a little bit more than the right-hand lane, lane 30. The reason being, the left-hand lane has a little more wear on it, and in the lay of the wood makes the ball hook just a little more. So watch the players on the left-hand lane. If they can hit that lane, I'm sure that they'll be very tough. Martin going for 4 in a row.
And he leaves the 10 pin on the left lane here in our championship finals of the United States Open.
What the players call the weak 10. Now here's the difference. Watch the 6 pin, the second pin in this part of your screen. Lay down in the channel. It doesn't get the impetus or power from off the 3 pin to drive up into the 10. Now the solid 10 is when the 6 pin doesn't lay down and goes around the top.
Cross lane for the 10. And the young man who has one superstition, he chews gum when he bowls. We'll be back with more after this message. The great Johnny Petraglia, finishing 6th, in other words. He has to watch today, but you've seen him so often over the last few years on the Professional Bowlers Tour. Super athlete and guy.
Had a great match with this young man up on the approach. Steve Brichta defeated Johnny 217 to 191 in the 56th game of this tournament yesterday.
And that's a big double for Brichta. Open with a strike if you just joined us. Marked with a spare, now a double, trailing by 9. Whereas his opponent, Martin, opened with a triple and marked with a spare in the 4th. So Brichta now will be shooting in the 5th frame. There you see his statistics. He is the smallest in the field today.
Strong in the upper body, though, Chris, and that gives him the power to get that ball through and a good snap at the bottom of the swing.
Oh, a very high hit, and that's 3 in a row. Now the match, 1 bowling pin separating the 2, and Brichta in the lead at the moment.
Great break for the young man, but remember in the 2nd frame he left a solid 7, which would have kept the match even at that point. Right now, Martin trails by 1 on the great break that Steve Brichta got. 5th frame.
Second appearance on our telecast for Martin. Very good. Answering the challenge, the pressure, getting a strike in the 5th frame of our first game. Now the winner will go against Guppy Troup. And heavily wrapped is the right forearm and wrist, Nelson, of Martin.
Chris, Martin, as many of the young players, throws the power ball, and they put a lot of pressure on their wrist and have a lot of trouble with tendonitis and whatnot. We've seen Palmer Falgren lately having trouble with his wrist. Marshall Holman and Steve Martin, once again, they have to protect that wrist, but that's a sacrifice they make for that tremendous power.
And he leaves the 10 pin on the left lane. Let's take a comparison from behind of their styles.
The closest thing to watch is the arm swing. Now watch how both players bring the ball back and cock their wrists at the top of the swing. There's, at the point of release, there's Steve Martin, the good wrist action. Now watch Brichta, almost the same, cocks his wrist, release is almost the same at the bottom of the swing.
And meanwhile, Martin had no problem in covering the 10 pin on the left lane, so he marked with a spare in the 6th in this very close first match. At stake today, winner's share of the $131,000 purse is $21,000 on our live telecast from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. 3 in a row, shooting in the 6th. Everybody needs a little break. 4 in a row.
Chris, watch this unique angle that we have. Here's the pin action on that last shot. Now watch from the right-hand corner, a pin shoot across and completely tear out the 4 pin. There it is, almost a wide open split. You see the 4 and the 10. Now here comes the pin across. What a tremendous break. A nosedive at an opportune time. Brichta takes an 11-pin lead, and he can increase it to 21 if he can make a good shot here.
Leaving the 7 pin on that left lane, Steve Brichta of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Thus far this year, he has earned last year rather, he earned $1,400 looking for his first paycheck today.
And you can see
he's going to get one.
See his match play record, 14-9-1, 1 tie, 24 games in the finals, 32 games of qualifying this week, 56 games in all.
Beautiful form, neat follow-through, spare in the 6th frame. Martin trailing by 10, Brichta leading. We'll be back after this. The Bradley Bowl, our live coverage, you're looking at Steve Martin. He'll bowl next, and this week, 217 average on the finals pair, 202. In this championship, the United States Open. Spare up, shooting in the 7th frame. First match. Open with 3, so now with a strike in the 7th frame, you see the score. 10 pin difference.
And you see the power ball of Steve Martin. And I asked Steve how he developed so much power in his game, and here's what he had to say.
When I was growing up, I live right next to a bowling alley, so I got to oil the lanes how I wanted to, and I slicked them up pretty much, like, because I always liked a big hook when I was growing up. So I just wanted to throw one, so I slicked the lanes up so I could practice at it.
Well, always nice to control conditions.
Right now he needs a strike to even the match.
All even. So now, Brichta of Allentown, Pennsylvania. He has a spare up in the 7th. He'll be shooting in the 8th frame. Remember the winner in our format, which has been here for a total of 19 years, is that the winners advance. And the winner of this match, our first, will meet Guppy Troup. The winner of that game will go against Mike Aulby, and then the finals against Earl Anthony. Crossing over and leaving the 7.
Good breaks have been in the favor of Steve Brichta so far. He's made a few errant shots, as you see, crossing over to the Brooklyn for the left-handers, the 1-3, and just kind of mushing the pins down, avoiding the split. Almost gets a break and carries the 7 pin. Cross lane, he'll be trailing by 1 if he converts the spare.
All right, to the right of center, going for the 7. Shooting it just like he did in the 2nd frame, covering the 7 pin. The young man that, like Martin, lived close to a bowling establishment. And starting at age 9, and at age 15 was averaging 200.
Come down to the critical stage of the match. The last 3 out of 4 frames, Brichta has been wild. He was close to the pocket in the 7th frame, but he's trailing by 1. If he's going to win, he has to get his act together right now.
And in that foundation frame, a strike here at the Bradley Bowl, live, the United States Open.
For Steve Martin, the big shot in the match. He leads by 1, double working, can extend that lead to 11. First match, first leg of the Triple Crown of Bowling, the U.S. Open.
Double working for Martin. Leaving a 10 in the 9th frame.
Wow, Chris, for every good break that Brichta has had, Steve Martin has got an almost corresponding bad break. The match is all even if Martin converts this through 9 frames. Actually, advantage to Brichta, has the strike working. And there's Steve Martin's lovely wife, Kim, studying the action. She knows the score and the amount of money involved.
Hard cross lane to cover the 10. Spare in the 9th frame. Kim watching with very little expression. It's harder on them, Bo, than it is the person out there bowling.
I agree. Sitting back there, you almost feel helpless. But here's the situation. You can see both players even through 8 frames. Slight advantage to Brichta with the strike working. The possibility of a tie in our first match. Martin needs a strike to stay even.
And gets it.
What a powerfully solid game he has bowled. He has bowled 10 frames almost meticulously perfect. Every ball with power, everyone with the same speed, hit the line solid. Right now, he can take the lead in the match with one more strike. He's going at a 228 pace right now. Brichta also at a 228 pace. As always on the Pro Bowlers Tour, the man who can perform in the clutch will win.
From Kingsport, Tennessee. Leaving the 4-7.
Brichta had the choice of starting lane in this match, Chris, and he'll get the finish on his favorite lane, lane 30, and the situation becomes almost imminent for a tie. Is this: if Martin makes the spare, he has 228. Brichta with a spare strike would also have 228.
And in case of a tie, a 2-frame roll-off.
Oh,
chopping the 4.
What a mistake at a point there, Chris. That's almost critical. Now he opens the door for Brichta easily to win. Brichta now with 1 strike on his first ball. Here's Martin's reaction. He can't believe it. After bowling so well, every ball he makes 1 slight mistake. Brichta with a strike here will win the match. He needs strike here or spare strike to win. He could finish with 228, Martin 227. It's not over.
No, 5-7. 5-10 make it.
With all the bad breaks that Martin has got and all the good breaks that Brichta has gotten, first time in a match that Brichta's got a bad break. Now he has to convert this split. If he does not convert, Martin is the winner. He needs to make this split and strike to win. If he doesn't convert, Martin will go on to meet Troup.
5-10. Bowling. What a tough way to make a living. 214 to Steve Martin's 227. An unusual first match. Stay with us. Guppy Troup will meet Martin. And in an unusual first match, Steve Martin, 7 strikes, defeated Steve Brichta, 227 to 214. Now Martin has to be a little surprised that he's moving into our second live match from the Bradley Bowl in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. And he's going to meet 30-year-old Guppy Troup, who wears sort of loud slacks. And not to say anything about the calmness of that green shirt. From Jacksonville, Florida, colorful performer, born in Scotland, moved to the States when he was 3 years old.
2 Southerners going at it head to head.
So, Guppy Troup, Jacksonville, Florida, is open with a strike. Now, up is Steve Martin, that 5'6", 170-pounder from Kingsport, Tennessee.
Bowled a sensational first game. 227 does not really relate to how well he bowled. Every ball in good shot.
3rd in the Ford Open. Well, both bowlers. That's a powerful ball, Bo.
He looks awesome, Chris. I saw this young fellow 2 years ago, and I said if he could ever learn control, such much as a Major League Baseball pitcher with a great fastball comes out, he can't get it over the plate. Martin, the same way with his control, if he can control that powerful ball, could be one of the top players on the tour. He has been close many times, but his accuracy has failed him when he most needed it. He looks awfully sharp today. There's no question about the power of his ball and the determination of the body.
Going for a double. Oh, a high hit, leaving the 6-7-10.
But there's his problem. As we spoke, there was his big problem. He missed about 3 boards at the arrow. The ball is cutting through very sharply, leaving the 6, 7, 10. Not impossible, but definitely tough.
There it is for the professionals, 10-1 to convert the 6, 7, 10.
He'll cut down that big hook, use cross lane with a lot of speed.
Nope. So it's an open frame in the second for Steve Martin, and a 12-pin lead for Guppy Troup, who's up. We mentioned he was born in Scotland. Both his mother and father were in the British Army. His mother drove a truck, and they immigrated to the States, Edinburgh. He liked that one.
And that's something you'll see Guppy Troup do. He is known for his great carry on the tour, and here's the style that gives him that carry. He's nice and relaxed. Guppy bowls with a nice, loose, relaxed feel. Has a very short backswing for excellent control. It's just about shoulder level, very similar to our tournament leader, Earl Anthony. Solid at the line, and he rolls the ball very smoothly off his hand with good extension. Has a double working, can extend his lead to 32 pins through 3 frames with 1 more strike.
Left the 10-pin.
To set up a comparison between the two players is that Steve Martin is using the soft polyester ball and Guppy Troup is using the soft rubber ball. You see the wide trajectory of Troup, but watch the weak 10, as we say it. The 6 will lay in the channel. There it goes right on the side of the screen. Now, if we call a solid 10, that's when the 6-pin goes what we call in orbit. Never touches the channel or the 10-pin.
Fine shot. Marking with a spare in the 3rd frame after opening with a double. Trailing by 21 is Steve Martin from Kingsport, Tennessee. He had an open frame, failing on trying to convert the 6, 7, 10. Shooting in the 3rd. In the pocket. He won the first game, if you just joined us, over Steve Brichta by a score of 227 to 214. The winner of this to meet last year's Rookie of the Year, Mike Aulby. And then in the final game, worth $21,000 to the winner, Earl Anthony, who won last week.
Martin, strike working, can cut Guppy Troup's lead to 11 pins with another hit. Kim Martin, fortuitous first game, rooting for her husband in the second. With the double, 11 pins separating our two professionals in our second match. Our live coverage from the Bradley Bowl will continue after this. Bowl, Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Capacity crowd watching our second match. Live coverage. Guppy Troup, who finished 3rd, is bowling against Steve Martin, who defeated Steve Brichta in our first game, 227 to 214. The 30-year-older from Jacksonville, Florida, Guppy Troup, shooting the 4th frame now, spare working in the 3rd. Moves very quickly to the line. And he liked that strike coming in the 4th frame. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. Match play record this week for Guppy Troup, 19-5. Troup now, with an 11-pin lead, can increase it to 21 if he can double. He's shooting in the 5th frame of our second game. Alternate Petraglia, sitting in that chair. Did not come up, sliding by the pocket, leaving the 2, 4, 5. All right, let's go to Bo. And with me is Mike Aulby, Rookie of the Year last year, leading money winner on the tour this year at age 19. Mike, I have to ask you, did you expect it to be this easy when you came out on the tour?
I never expected the tour to be anything like this to myself, and I never think of it as easy at all. It's always hard work.
Well, do you think that, do you need more experience, or why do you think you're #1 at such a young age?
Well, so far, my concentration's been really good this year, and everything's been working out really well for me. I've been working with little weights, and Billy Hardwick's helped me out quite a bit out here.
Well, Billy Hardwick, the only man to win the Triple Crown. Mike Aulby has already got one leg up with a national championship. Be going for 2. Back to you, Chris.
Okay, all of 19, Mike Aulby. Now Steve Martin, who is 21 years old, has a double working, can cut it to 1. Hey, he does. 3 in a row, and now 1 pin. Sort of a carbon copy of our first match where Martin defeated Brichta 227 to 214. 1 pin. Look at this reaction. Very graceful for a 170-pounder on a 5'6" frame. He, 2 years ago, was the PBA Rookie of the Year, and the person that, Bo, you just talked to was last year's Rookie of the Year, Mike Aulby. Look at that concentration. All right, 4-bagger. And a 9-pin lead. 88 through the 4th, double up, and now up is Guppy Troup.
1980 average, that's for all the tournaments so far this year. As you see, improved to almost 221 this week, and great on the TV pair, 237.
Almost crossing over, leaving the 3-pin.
Good break. The 6-pin just laid against the 10. Now watch on the right side of your screen. You'll see the 310 left up. Pin go to the sideboard, takes out the 6. Now watch the 6 lay in the channel and take out the 10. There it comes back into your screen. What a good break.
Love those replays. They really show you what the action is.
And it sure improves your chances of making spares with only 1 pin.
Yes. Well, incidentally, our professional bowling tip of the week today will be on bowling etiquette. Bo will have a couple of helpers in Mark Roth and John Petraglia. A little seriousness and also a little humor. That'll come a little later. Right now, it's all business for Troup and Martin. 10 pins separating the 2. Troup shooting in the 7th frame with a spare up.
Guppy Troup has to keep that speed up, Chris. As we said, he's using the soft rubber ball, and it has a tendency to break much sharper than the polyester ball when the lanes are a little dry. See that ball break very sharply at the back end, leaves the ever difficult 3, 6, 9, 10. Probably the toughest spare that pros routinely shoot at.
There's the reaction of Troup. Now let's see how he strokes. 3, 6, 9, 10. Gone. Spare in the 7th frame. 14 pins now separating these 2 pros in our second game on the Professional Bowlers Tour. Back after this. The Bowling Proprietors Association of America has sponsored a major bowling tournament since 1942. The first 29 were known as the All-Star. Ever since now, it's the United States Open. I'm Chris Schenkel, along with the U.S. Open winner 2 years ago, Nelson Burton Jr. We're in our second game. Martin leading by 14. And that is a 5-bagger. Strike in the first frame and open, and the rest strikes for Martin, who won the first game 227 to 214. Watch this.
He likes this shot. He sure is sharp, and you can see the determination in his eyes. I'll tell you, when a player with Martin's power, well-practiced ability gets hot, they're almost unstoppable. He's only made 1 mistake in this match, the 2nd frame. He has a 24-pin lead, can extend to 34 with another strike in the 8th.
Took 2 weeks off to prepare for this week of action. A high hit, and the result is a 4-9.
As we said, the left-hand lane hooks a little bit more, and the ball cuts through very sharply. Now, Martin made the proper adjustment. He lofted the ball a little bit more on the lane, but he didn't cut the hook down quite enough. He leaves a 4-9. What a bad break. Look, he's trying to hold it back at this point. Not impossible, but definitely a tough spare.
So it's the second open frame for Martin, and it cuts his lead to 10 pins now, 174 through the 8th frame.
And the pin count becomes very important at this point. The 4 that Guppy Troup has and the 4 that Steve Martin have allows the lead only to be 10 pins. That means with a double, Guppy Troup can even it up. 8th frame.
And another high hit. 3, 6, 9, and 10.
The thing that Guppy Troup is doing wrong is he's throwing the ball a little too slow, and you see it cut through here, leaving the 3, 6, 9, 10. One of the very difficult spares on the tour, and Guppy uses a good trajectory and angle to make this. He plays that outside line, taking a chance on chopping the 3-pin off, but carrying out the 9. Watch this shot. Down the edge. But there's the danger.
First open for Troup here in our second match, the winner to meet Mike Aulby. Now, Troup is trailing by 25.
You can see the danger of that outside trajectory covering this split, this spare. Chopping the 3, 9, and 6 off and leaving the 10. The door is wide open for Martin. Troup in a must-strike situation, 9th frame. He's going at a 189 pace. Martin, 214.
Oh, a strike in the 9th frame for Troup. Now he can watch as Martin's back up, following an open in the 8th.
Troup finally picked up his ball speed. He's been very slow with that short backswing through the first 8 frames. That time, he energized the ball a little bit more, and it held pocket. Martin, 9th frame, 25-pin lead.
Martin, who uses a little more of the approach as compared to Troup's short approach. Oh, there was a solid strike at the right time.
And what a powerful stroke this young man has. Arm close to his body and a good power strike. The situation becomes this. With a spare and a spare and 6 pins, Steve Martin would be the winner. If he strikes on the first shot, he's the winner, or spare and 6. The best Troup can bowl is 209. Martin going at a 214 clip right now.
And this is our 5th place finisher shooting here in our second match. There's a nice little help. 35-pin lead for Steve Martin. Watch again.
And here's the weak 10, but it gets a little love tap from the 6. Watch the 2nd pin on the right of your screen. Go in the channel. Now, normally it goes around the 10, but look at this good break. Lays right up against it. Gets the good break, and he knows it. When a great player like that can trip a 4, carry the 10, they're going to shoot some big scores. This ball will make him the winner.
Just like that. Shaking the first game, but won it 227 to 214. He'll be in the 230s here. He has won it. We'll be back with the next match. All right, now the completed score on our second match. Steve Martin, 5th place finisher overall, has won the first 2 matches, 10 strikes in his second match, 234 to Guppy Troup's 197. Martin finishing with 4 in a row. And next week, Bo, the BPAA National Championship.
The second leg in the Triple Crown, and Tommy Hudson, the defending champion, won't be there. I have to congratulate him, Chris. His wife just gave birth to a new baby girl. And then we go on to Milwaukee for the Miller High Life, the King Louis, and then the final leg, the Firestone Tournament of Champions.
All right, all on the Professional Bowlers Tour. Now, here's a young man that's going against Steve Martin, Mike Aulby, who was born the year we started the Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. And if that doesn't make you feel a little old, well, he was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, last year's Rookie of the Year, the #1 money winner this year with the striped shirt on the right, Mike Aulby. And Steve Martin now with 2 wins, a lot of confidence. He's big and strong, shouldn't tire. He'll be shooting first.
Steve Martin, Aulby is allowing Steve Martin to finish on the right lane, Chris, and Martin has only missed striking on that lane 1 time in the 2 matches. He left a solid 10. He's been solid strike every time on the right lane, and Aulby's going to let him finish there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So his 18th strike in our live telecast from the Bradley Bowl in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. And for today, it's the first time to get a look at 19-year-old Mike Aulby. His birthday is Tuesday.
Leading money winner on the tour after 12 weeks. With over $30,000. First stroke.
There it is. Mike Aulby, whose dad Jim flew in from Indianapolis to watch him compete, along with his sponsor Don Mitchell, as we look at the Aulby style. Smooth.
Great style for a young man. He has the style of a right-hander almost. He swings that ball inside out with a tremendous turn, and he plays that outside line. Interestingly enough, Chris, he only uses a 15-pound ball. Leading money winner on the tour, and he still only uses a 15-pound ball.
You recommend it?
Well, if you're left-handed, you can use that outside trajectory. You get enough angle on the pocket.
There you are. Well, here we go again with a 3, 5, 6, and 10.
The ball breaking very late, and he barely gets out the 10 pin. I mean the 9 pin in the back there. Not as easy, but very difficult. 3, 6, 10.
Third appearance on our telecast this year. He, like Anthony, could become first two-time winner. Anthony is waiting in the wings. He will meet the winner of this match. Well done. Strike and a spare for Mike Aulby. Now you're quite familiar with Steve Martin from Kingsport, Tennessee. 227 in the first game, 234 in the second to Guppy Troup's 197. Brichta, incidentally, finishing fifth, $5,000. Troup fourth, $6,000. Sliding by, leaving the 2.
Well, maybe Mike Aulby knew something. Steve Martin had not missed the right-hand lane, and he throws his first errant shot in the second frame of the third match. Chris, relating back to the great history of this tournament, only 2 players have ever won this tournament 4 times, the great Don Carter and the great Dick Weber. And here's the pin action of Steve Martin. Watch how he breaks down to 2-4-5 and leaves only the 2 pin. Good break.
And with no waste of time or motion, covers the 2, and it's a spare for Martin in the second. All even match. This is our semifinal game. The winner to meet the man who's practicing, Earl Anthony. You heard the pin fall.
This tournament used to be a little more of an endurance contest. Back in the 50s and 60s, it was a 100-game tournament. Because of a lack of time, it's only a 7-day and 56-game tournament right now.
The United States Open for bowlers. Leaving the 7 and continuing their policy of conducting the U.S. Open at one site 2 years. Next year it'll be in Houston, Texas.
And watch Steve Martin overpower the pins, gets a bad break. The head pin goes to the sideboard and prevents the 5 from ripping over into the 4-7. Usually a strike for a power player like Martin. Bad break.
All right. It's a spare in the third in the Bowling Proprietors Association of America. Executive Director Chief Wapensky was telling me they 7 foreign countries membership. And there was one country that wanted to host this, Bo, and I'm sorry they're not going there. Pago Pago. I wouldn't mind having the event there.
Sounds like a good spot.
Okay. Aulby striking in the third frame. Number 2 finisher. Out of a field of 240 bowlers that started the Open.
Both players with almost identical styles. One a lefty, one a righty, and their game has paralleled so far. In the first frame, Martin tripped to 4, Aulby tripped to 6. The second frame, Martin was light, so was Aulby. In the third frame, Martin hit light and ripped the rack. Only got 9. Aulby ripped the rack and got a strike. He leads by 1. Fourth frame can extend his lead to 11.
Good break. And a double now takes an 11-pin lead here in the semifinal live from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Our live coverage of the United States Open in Windsor Locks, Connecticut at Bradley Bowl continues. Steve Martin, who won the first 2 games for Brichta 227 to 214 and then over Troup 234 to 197, is trailing by 11, shooting in the 4th frame against Mike Aulby. He has a spare working. But he got a big break, leaving only the 3, and here's Nelson.
With me is bowling's greatest champion, Earl Anthony. More money, more titles, but he has never won the U.S. Open. Earl, you have to be up for this one.
I think I might be a little overpumped, Bo. That's my problem. I'm looking forward to the match, but I think I'm a little more nervous than normal. I want this one more than I think I've wanted anything for quite a while. Too many seconds.
You've had 2 seconds in this. What went wrong in the other title matches?
Last year here, I had a chance to win it. I led the tournament by quite a few pins, and I bowled Joey Berardi, and I started slow, and Joey started with 6 in a row, and the match was over. I never even got close to him. The other time I lost to Mike McGrath at Madison Square Garden, and it was a good match right down to the end, and Mike struck out, I think, in the 9th and 10th to win the match.
So the key for Earl is to start quickly in the final match. Back to you, Chris.
And if Earl Anthony is nervous, he certainly covers it up, conceals it outwardly. Here's this game, the semifinal. He'll meet the winner. Martin trailing by 12. Shooting in the 5th. Spare up. So the man who had 17 strikes in his first 2 games gets his second, this one coming in the 5th of this semifinal against Mike Aulby. Leading money winner. Mike is back up. He has a double working. He can increase his lead to 22 with a strike here on the right lane, carefully setting himself on the approach. Leaving the 7.
Aulby got a great break in the 4th frame when he tripped out the 6-pin for the second time in the match. But then he just labeled that shot. Now watch this solid 7 for left-handers. So lefties answer to the solid 10. Now watch the ball. Beautiful shot. Knock that 4-pin to the sideboard and go around the 10. That, on the 7. I'm sorry. That's the same thing as a solid 10. Ooh, and Aulby slipped off in the channel, Chris. Even though it came back out, it does not count.
Right.
Once the ball hits the channel, it is dead.
So that is an open in the 5th frame.
And what happens oftentimes, he changed to a harder ball to shoot the spares, and he did not have the same feel or grip. Jim Aulby, Mike's father, knows he made a mistake. Trails by 1, 6th frame.
And leaving the 610 on the, or rather, yes, it is the 610 on the left lane.
The crashing 610. The frame before on that lane, he tripped the 610 out with the 3-pin. That time he drove the 3 right over the 6 and 10. As you can see, Mike has had a good week this week, averaging better than 11 pins above his normal tour average.
All right, it's a spare for Mike Aulby, the young man who won the All-American Bowling Championships here in Connecticut in 1978. It's a junior competition and very important. So now up is Martin, who has a 1-pin lead, can increase it to 11.
And he must retain domination in this right-hand lane if he wants to stay close in the match.
Oh, he has it figured out. A double and an 11-pin lead in the semifinal. The winner to meet Earl Anthony. There you see it.
That shows the experience of this young pro, Steve Martin. He realized he just made poor shots in the 2nd and 4th frame, so he didn't adjust in the 6th, went ahead and just made a nice smooth stroke and took an 11-pin lead in the match. For both right-handers and left-handers, the left lane, the one that Martin's up now, hooks a little more. The adjustment, as I asked Earl Anthony and the other players, is with a little more loft, a little more speed.
And that's really putting the pressure on young Mike Aulby. 3 in a row and a 21-pin lead, and Aulby is up. Aulby's 3rd appearance on the Professional Bowlers Tour.
Has a fabulous TV record. He's won 10 matches and only lost 2 in the past 2 years. If he wants to keep that record intact, he has to get going here.
4-1 this year and a 7.
Chris, as we said, he uses a 15-pound ball, and he figures that he won't get as many taps with that. Now watch, here's another solid 7. Watch the 4-pin, the 2nd pin on the left part of your screen, go flying around the 7. What a bad break. Excellent shot. The footwork of Mike Aulby, slow, methodical, and precision. A little bit sideways at the foul line. Now watch him slide in. Once again, he misses a 7.
Last time he was on television, he ran into a little trouble and just lost his composure.
Chris, that time he used the original strike ball. He has changed balls so many times, I think he's just lost the feel of it. He's really dug himself a hole. He trails by 33 pins, and he's not bowling badly at all. He still has a chance for a good game.
Little tap on the 7-pin and a strike for Aulby in the 8th frame. Leading by 33 pins, we have Martin.
As you can see, the whims of the bowling pins, the 4-pin lays in the channel. Normally you leave the 7 on this shot and carries it out.
Martin now with 3 in a row, shooting on the right lane. And that's the lane that Aulby allowed Martin to finish on. So he has a 4-bagger here and a 43-pin lead in the semifinal. The winner to meet, Earl Anthony, for the $21,000 first prize. This is live coverage from Windsor Locks, Connecticut, north of Hartford. Bowlers seeing that last statistic, 48 200-plus games. That's rather nice to have in 1 week.
And when Steve Martin had a chance to lock up this match, Chris, he makes another error, the 4-7-10. At the time, he was 43 pins ahead. He's going to drop his lead down in the 20s. If he doesn't convert, he has opened the door for Aulby. Something bothered him. He took his time. What he should do is check the pin count. He threw that ball a little slower on the left-hand lane. You have to keep that speed and loft up when the lane hooks. Now, the percentage is not very much in his favor to go for this. He should go for the pin count. Which he did. Smart move.
184, 193 now through the 9th frame. And Martin's lead has been cut to 28. And now Aulby with a strike up in the 8th, shooting in the 9th.
The situation becomes this. Aulby trailing by 28 still has a possibility of a 2:15 game. Steve Martin working at a 2:13 pace.
Nope. All but the 6.
An important strike. He has all but closed the door for himself. Best Aulby can shoot is 195. Watch the ball cutting through here. And watch the 3-pin go over the sideboard. There it goes. Now, normally he'll come back between these 6 and 10 and trip it out if he's going to carry the strike. But watch, it only takes out the 10. See that pin just missed that 6. Unfortunate.
Spare in the 9th for Mike Aulby. 145 through 8.
The best Aulby can do is 195. Martin has to just show up and get 3 pins in the 10th. It looks like a final for the U.S. Open will be Steve Martin and Earl Anthony. Aulby will take over the PBA money lead or retain the lead he has this week if Anthony doesn't win.
Needed that a little earlier here in the semifinal match. Mike Aulby, who thus far this year, $32,370. If he loses here, it'll be $7,500 to add to that total. In the next match, $31,000, make it $32,000. 21 to the winner, 11 for the runner-up.
Aulby has no chance to win the match. All that Steve Martin needs is 3 pins on 2 balls. He's at least making him show up. Aulby with a 195. Close, but the 2 7-pins he missed. 1 in the 5th frame, 1 in the 7th pin. Doomed him for today. He left 2 good solid hits in crucial situations and missed both spares. That record is going to drop to 4 wins and 2 losses as soon as Steve Martin gets up to the lane. It's over now.
Yep, 191 is the final score for Mike Aulby. He'll leave the teenager ranks on Tuesday. He'll be 20. We'll see a lot more of him, I'm sure. We'll have Martin's final. But first, let's take this break and then come back with the final game. There's nothing funny about our Steve Martin's bowling performance here and our live coverage from the U.S. Open. 227, 234, now 221 to oust Mike Aulby, who shot a 191. So Steve Martin, who is in our 5th position, has now earned his way into the finals against the great Earl Anthony, who was last week's PBT winner. Well, I think to fully enjoy. Last week, the great Earl Anthony won his 32nd PBT title, striking to defeat Mark Roth 268 to 242. And sorry I missed that final game.
Chris, at this point, he just needed a mark, but watch the great break he gets to break down the split. Leaves the 4-7-10, pin comes across, knocks out the 4-7. He ended up bowling a 268. What a break.
Why not? And was he happy? Well, the same Earl Anthony now, the tournament leader. He led after Tita Semez was the leader of the first round. Led all the way since. Now is still the tournament leader, but he has to go against a red-hot Steve Martin on the left. This is for the $21,000 and a championship, prestigious one, that Earl has yet to win, the United States Open. Wants it badly.
Can be the 2nd player in bowling history in a lifetime to win the Triple Crown.
high hit, and he was happy with the 4-pin.
The left lane, as we said, is hooking more, and Earl is going to have to make the adjustment. There's that nice, easy roll of his, but see the sharp break. We've seen it both for right-handers and left-handers. I say there is no advantage to being either right or lefty in this match, Chris. The lanes are the same for both players, even though they're on different sides.
All right. So smooth. Whatever he has to cover. Earl Anthony is spare in the first frame. Now, Steve Martin, who is 1-3. And from the first game this year, we have had 3 winners. Mike Aulby, who was eliminated by Martin in the last match, Alvin Liu, and our statistician, Palmer Fahlgren. Leaving a 4-pin, and it was Palmer who ousted Steve Martin from the rolls of the Firestone Tournament of Champions.
And he needs a win here to get back in. You'll see the 4-pin. Now watch the 2-pin, which is on the left side of your screen, right next to the head pin. Go to the sideboard and try to knock out the 4-7. That equilateral triangle, the pins, there it is. The 2 getting the 4.
All even after 1 frame in our championship match of the United States Open, Bradley Bowl, Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Next week, we'll be in Sterling Heights, Michigan for the PBA National Championship. One of the Triple Crown, Bo.
Right, then to the Miller High Life Open, Chris, then the King Louis Open, and winding it up 4 weeks from today, the Firestone Tournament of Champions, which Steve Martin needs a victory to get into. Second frame, all even championship match.
Left lane now. Okay, first strike of this final match. Anthony now is up and shooting in the second frame.
The game plan for Earl Anthony is to come out strong and firing, Chris. He said he lost this title both times in the title match by starting slowly. He wants to get out an early lead. Right now, it's all even, second frame.
All right, still even after 2 frames. Earl Anthony's 3rd appearance, and only in his 7th tournament of the year.
The classic style of the great Earl Anthony. 5-step delivery, nice and smooth. Check his steady head. Watch that head. It very seldom ever moves off that target. Good follow through and tremendous concentration.
Last year was tournament leader, but was defeated by Joe Berardi, 232 to 195. And it's a double. Earl Anthony.
You could see the deft touch of Earl Anthony on that shot, Chris. He, what we call, is fudged the ball. He didn't move on the lane, but he just opened his hand at the point of release to cut that hook down, and he tripped out the 610. What a great break, and what a tremendous adjustment.
What a touch.
That's why he has 32 titles.
Now to stay even, Martin, who's won 3 games, needs to strike here. Oh, convincing strike on the right lane, and Kim Martin, Steve's wife. It's the first little relief and smile on her face.
The key for Martin to win this title and take it away for Anthony has got to be the left-hand lane, Chris. He has to keep his speed and loft up on that lane. Both players have had trouble going high. The adjustment for Martin is not to move in on the lane as you sometimes do, but that particular lane to go with speed and loft. All even, 4th frame.
And now 3 in a row for 21-year-old Steve Martin of Kingsport, Tennessee, going against 41-year-old Earl Anthony. More of this championship match after this.
The Dutch Masters buyers are...
Petraglia won $4,000.
Steady Tom Baker. Ed Ressler Sr.'s son, Eddie Jr. is working for us, is up there this week. Mike Durbin, Dave Sutar, Palmer Fahlgren, the True Value champion, Ralph Hartman 2 weeks in a row, lefty George Kane, gutsy Gary Mage, Steve Neff, steady. Ron Lisher, Bill Spigner from nearby, John Wilcox, Tita Semez. Rounding out the top 24, Ernie Schlegel, Caldwell, and great champion Dave Davis.
Looking for 3 in a row. After 4 full frames in the United States Open, the man that has never won that title, but everything else at least once, Earl Anthony.
And the different styles of 2 players. Earl Anthony depending on accuracy, precision, and the great touch. Steve Martin on mostly power. Earl has been light, carried a wall shot in the second, tripped the sixth and the third, wall shot again in the fourth. See what he does in the fifth. Match all even.
Now, high hit leaving the 6, 7, 10 on the left lane.
Chris, in the third frame, he fudged the ball. In the fifth frame, he lifted that ball with tremendous power, actually going for the big lead in the match, and he leaves the 6, 7, 10. Not a good break at all, and a tough split.
Did he slow it down, Bill?
No, he just put more lift, Chris. And just the adrenaline flowing, he put a little extra revolution on the ball, and it bit at the back end. The 10-pin must have fallen out.
Yeah,
It's
it
just
must have.
6, 7.
Oh, he was going all out for it. That gives Earl Anthony 104 through the fifth frame, trailing by 6. And Steve Martin, who's won 3 matches against Brichta, against Troup, and against Mike Aulby to get into the finals here against Anthony, leading by 16 rather than 6. He has a triple up. 4 in a row. Wow.
Earl Anthony opened the door wide open for Steve Martin, and Steve just walked right in. On his best lane, he extends his lead to 26 pins. He can definitely put Earl Anthony's back to the wall with this. There's 5 frames left in the first leg of the Triple Crown. Anthony in trouble. Martin in great shape, has the hammer in hand, can extend to the lead to 36.
Earl Anthony just watching Mr. Precision today.
And Martin just cut it all loose. He made as great a shot as you can make. He kept the speed up, the loft up, and watch the solid 8. Watch the power of this ball drive straight through. The 5 being cut straight off the 8. What a bad break, but it keeps the match close. Look, he knows this is good. Look at that tremendous lift he came through, running it out. Look at the concentration on his eyes. Oh.
Look at the 360.
Wow.
All right, covered the 8 pin. No problem. That coming in the 6th frame of this championship match, and now Earl Anthony, after an open, has 104 through the 5th, shooting in the 6th frame. 6-1, 180. Look at that lifetime earnings, $742,107. Fourth strike of the match, that coming in the 6th.
The thing that I believe makes Earl Anthony the greatest player on the tour, the one thing is his steady head. Watch his eyes and his head as he comes through lifting the ball. Now right here he's back in the power position on a pivot step. Now watch as he lifts. Look, you don't even see a hair wrinkle. Almost every other player I've ever seen at least snaps his head as the ball comes by his body. Earl Anthony, tremendously consistent.
And the bowler of the decade doubles that strike in the 7th frame, cutting Martin's lead to 15 pins, and Steve is up, shooting in the 7th, with a spare working in the 6th.
Part of the drama is the continuing dilemma of the tournament leader. He has only won twice this year out of 11 stops. Earl Anthony, number 1 going into this match, trails by 15.
And Martin right back that strike in the 7th frame. If you just joined us, he won his first match 227 to 214 over Steve Brichta, then defeated Guppy Troup 234 to 197, and then ousted Mike Aulby here in our 3rd game.
Martin can have no letdown. There's 3 frames left separating from him from his first major title. He cannot let down. He's bowling against Earl Anthony. Earl will not give it to him. Martin is going to have to take it. Needs to put everything he's got in every shot.
All right. That double, a 25-pin lead, and Anthony is up in a hurry. He really wants to get up there and fire with a double working for him.
Earl Anthony has done everything in the game of bowling, and I asked him what is in his future. Here's what he has to say.
I still have pretty much the same goals, Bo. I'd still like to be the first bowler to win $1 million. I'd like to, still like to win 40 tournaments. I get out here in the tour. I want to be a winner. That's why I compete. But I'm going to cut it back a little bit. I bought a bowling center in Dublin, California. I spent a lot more energy on working in that bowling center and try to get it going, make it a paying proposition. It's a little more security for us older guys. There's too many really tough young players coming on the tour now. It's tough to compete with them.
like 21-year-old Steve Martin. Earl is 41, but boy, is he really stroking. He has 3 in a row now. He'll be shooting in the 9th frame, 15 pins separating these two, $21,000 at stake.
The most important shot for Earl Anthony all week. He needs this strike in the 9th to put the pressure on Martin. The match is going down to the last 2 frames. Earl could cut the lead to 5 pins.
Nope.
What a bad break. The 2-7. The baby split for the left-handers. Earl in a must-make situation. Here's Earl's reaction on the left and his ball cutting through. Now watch the split. He must make this to keep pressure. Earl Anthony could still bowl 232 and force Martin to mark.
And converts it, the 2-7, giving him... Now Martin is back up. He has a double working shooting in the 9th frame.
Martin has everything going for him. He has a 17-pin lead, a double working coming up in the 9th frame on his best lane. He can close the door on Earl Anthony. Leads by 27.
Wow. 3 in a row.
And he knows what that strike did. They still got another frame to bowl, but Steve Martin has got it well in hand. Steve Martin going in a 249 clip. Earl Anthony, the best he can bowl is 232. Look at that score sheet. Martin just has to keep it in the building.
Remember, Martin started in the number 5 position, has won 3 matches, now dominating here in the final game. Leaving a 10.
That's it. The worst Martin can do is a 236. Earl Anthony, the best he can do is 232. The dilemma of the tournament leader continues on. Earl Anthony is going to be the 10th tournament leader to go down in defeat this year.
And for Earl, the United States Open, the elusive, sort of like Sam Snead in golf, that could never win the United States Open, but everything else. We'll be back after this. What a powerful day for a powerful man from Kingsport, Tennessee. 4 wins, 248 to 222 over Earl Anthony, and your first major championship, Steve. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Seemed like the first couple games, I just got a lot of good breaks, and so it's just like a dream come true, really, I tell you. Never figured I'd beat Earl Anthony either.
That had to be a big thrill. Made you chew that gum a little harder.
I gotta have the gum.
Is that really a superstition?
No, I just like to chew gum.
Okay, good idea. So let's bring in Ken West, who is executive director of the Connecticut Bowling Proprietors Association, to present this lovely trophy. Ken?
Steve, on behalf of the Connecticut Bowling Proprietors Association, I'd like to present this trophy to you and our sincerest, deep congratulations. Good bowling.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ken, they're wonderful hosts here in the state of Connecticut. Dick Richards is president of the Bowling Proprietors Association of America with over 4,100 members, over 87,000 lanes. And look at him perspire in the smile of happiness, Dick.
I don't blame him. Those have been 4 tremendous great games, and I thought in the 9th frame he was going to almost screw himself right into the approach the way he spun around. Steve, my congratulations, and on behalf of all the proprietors and all the proprietors' employees from all over the United States, it's my pleasure to give you this great big check of $21,000. Thank you. It's been our pleasure. You're going to be a good champion for us, and we're so happy to have you aboard.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you, Dick, and everybody else that has anything to do with the BPAA. It's just great, and thank you for sponsoring the tournament year after year.
And we'll be there for many more years.
Oh, that's
Don't
great.
worry.
That's great.
We like the way you guys work for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's the most important person in your life, Steve?
My wife.
Oh, you said the right thing. And here she is, Kim. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy.
You looked a little grim, though, in the first 3 games.
Well, it's hard. I just get so nervous I don't know what to do. And I just don't know what to say.
Tell me, where did you meet?
We met at the bowling alley.
Well, that's a pretty good place. A lot of people have found it a good place to match things up.
Yes, it is. My aunt and uncle manage the bowling lanes where Steve is out of. So I'm always up there, and that's how we met.
You think they'll sell you a piece and you can become a bowling proprietor?
Oh, I doubt it.
What are your goals other than winning more tournaments, Steve?
Just stay out here, be healthy, and compete with the PBA. It's just a great bunch of guys, and I'm just proud to be a member.
Well, that's a nice compliment. Tell everyone where Kingsport, Tennessee is. I've been there.
It's about 80 miles, 90 miles east of Knoxville. Where's Knoxville?
Where's Knoxville? In other words, Knoxville is a suburb of Kingsport.
Kingsport's a suburb of Tennessee.
There you go. Well, Kim and Steve, we congratulate you, and it was a great performance this afternoon under the most pressure that you can. Maybe next week in the PBA National Championship you'll do well.
I certainly hope so.
All right, goodbye, Kim. Thanks for joining us.
Goodbye, and thank you.
All right, 248 to 222 is the final score. Steve Martin, 21 years old, Kingsport, Tennessee, is the United States Open champion. Once again, Steve Martin, he won the winner's share, $21,000 of the $131,000 total in this prestigious tournament. Today's program was produced by Eleanor Rieger, directed by Jim Jeanette, technical director Bob Bernthal, associate director Patty Tuitt. Now this is Chris Schenkel along with Nelson Burton Jr. saying so long from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Now, be sure to stay tuned for ABC's Wide World of Sports. Coming up next and featuring the World Figure Skating Championships, Women's Invitational Motocross Motorcycle Championship, and the Pool Champions Trick Shot Wizardry. Travel arrangements